Synthesizing your information and writing in a scholarly voice. Research is a thinking process that we express in writing, or as a movie, or in speech. Having worked with high school to graduate age learners for over 30 years, one fatal flaw that I've seen repeatedly is that students sometimes regard the word research primarily to be a writing process. Students sometimes are overly focused on just getting it written. And while yes, you certainly will be writing, and those skills are critical to the success of your master's thesis, it's also critical that you first have something to say. Your writing will be superior if you engage in the requisite thinking about your project and your topic. Thinking about your project involves not only arriving at a topic that will interest you and be of service to our profession, but also developing precise search terms, locating the most relevant sources, doing a lot of reading, and then visualizing the relationships between and among the facets of your topic. As you read, you will begin to see common themes, ideas, or issues related to your topic. Ask yourself how these are interrelated. What do they have in common? What's different? Are there any outliers? And if so, why? What does all of this mean for your research question and ultimately for your hypothesis? This level of research demands that you can not only analyze the information that you read and the data you collect, but also that you can synthesize this information into new meanings. One of the best ways to see relationships is to create mind maps. This simple yet effective strategy can lead you to breakthroughs in your research because it helps you visualize these relationships between and among the facets of the literature and to your own data. When writing your lit review in Chapter 2, you will want to show areas where the existing literature about your topic concurs and where there are differences. Which studies all point to a certain solution or strategy? Which suggests something different? What will your study help to support or refute? Or how might your findings suggest a novel approach, instructional design, or strategy for learning? Seeing these relationships will help you create a lit review that goes beyond a mere listing of what other studies have shown. Look for those relationships. Once you have a plan of action based on your graphical synthesis, you're now getting ready to write. Be sure to carefully follow the guidelines set by Wilson College for each chapter. Among important points to keep in mind: write in third person. Check your grammar for obvious things like noun-verb agreement. Use academic professional vocabulary, and be sure your in-text citations are accurate. As you read academic journal articles, pay attention to the direct, no flourishes scientific style of writing. Look to see how information from varied sources is combined and related in the studies you read, and how these writers connected their own results to the larger body of research. Your project should lead the reader through a solid, logical argument that uses the literature as a foundation and a lens for your interpretation of your own findings. Let's look now at some examples of synthesis in writing. In this particular page, here we are doing some synthesis in that we are drawing inferences from the body of literature. Here the writer is talking about other studies and what they have concluded. And then notice here where it's underlined. This sentiment echoes the call of research discussed thus far in the chapter and reinforces that this learning process cannot occur without well-developed metacognition. Research has pointed to the need for better learner preparation, so on and so forth. The solutions and recommendations given underscore the necessity to do something, and then it relates on further. So what the writer here is doing is connecting the literature through a logical line of reasoning that's going to match what she wants to say in her paper. Here, the literature is also used to justify the research design of the study. In this particular study, which happens to be mine, we used a concurrent embedded strategy. This was a mixed method study, and I'm explaining here the study and how the differences in my results would not have been evident had I only followed a solely quantitative method. I then connect it to the literature and give a quote to back up how the mixed methods could benefit researchers, and they benefited my study in this exact way. And then I also connected further investigations to test the validity of inquiry outcomes. And again, this was all built from the existing literature and synthesizing it to my results. I also use this again to help evaluate my results. So here I'm talking about the value of metacognitive reflection and how this is widely recognized in the literature, and I give some major, important, and seminal pieces of research. And then I connect it to my own research here, that my learners found inquiry to be difficult, was supported by, and then I give the research there as well. And again, I can then look at the existing literature and my results. These learners presented evidence of what Schraw et al. Called active engagement, so on and so forth. And so I am looking through my own results through the lens of the existing literature. So those are just a few examples to share with you. As you are writing, continually proofread your own writing, not just for grammar and noun-verb agreement and things like that, but more importantly, think about and visualize the concepts as you make your logical argument for your readers. Are your connections logical, or have you made any large leaps to conclusions that are unfounded based on the evidence that you've provided? This is what will make your writing even stronger. You've got to do the thinking before and as you do the writing. Don't forget that you can also check your APA manual anytime for technical assistance in your writing. So, happy researching and happy synthesizing.